Hi all. Right. Glad to report another couple of days good work. We have yes, leave the step ladders there, Clive. We have all the rest of the suspension bars to the back now. So pretty much the structure of the car now is pretty much done. There's a few things I've got to go over. Bit awkward to get to this bracket here to weld that with the engine still in. Same vice versa for the brackets that I've now made for the top diagonal bars. Those will be done when I can take the chassis off and just flip it upside down. So I'll strip the chassis and do final welding. I made lists, got to that stage where I start making lists of stuff to do to make sure you don't ever forget them. So I made a little list of little points that I need to finish welding. I don't want to try and weld it and make it look crap because you can't get access to it. I'm only actually doing the video now is because I'm just letting this bar cool off. I've just done most of the welding that I can on here and here. Once that cools down for a little bit, then I'll take it off and finish the fillet in here and finish all the welding underneath and verse for the bar at the end. Well, I'll grab the camera for a minute. So that's the structure. Yeah, we do things as logically as we can. Now that's in, realistically tomorrow I can start the rear suspension. It's took a long time to get to that point, but obviously due to the fact that the suspension bolts to the gearbox and to the structure and to the part of the car that I had to have all together. You know, the front was easy to do because pretty much I only needed the front part of the chassis. Now I need the whole back end to be together to make sure everything's okay before I can carry on and do the rear. Obviously the lower wishbone points there and there. We now have 2 points for it, so it's much simple. The upper wishbone point we have here. This one we'll have to make a frame for that will attach to various points on the gearbox. But that's not done. We can zoom in out. There's quite quality that, but I'm quite happy the way that's turned out. Now, single point or single bolt, should I say, through here. Most of the forces for this are taking up and down, and I'm not going to twist the bolt, so basically we can do a single point mounting. This, on the other hand, the actual plane of movement will be across the car that it's trying to eliminate. So, you know, under hard cornering, suspension's pushing up against there. It'll be pushing this here, which will be putting this bar here in compression, and then putting the other bar there in tension. Now, putting this joint pushing in that direction, you can imagine, okay, it's we're talking small amounts here, but the bolt could rotate because we're pushing in a plane where the bolt actually could rotate on a single bolt. A single bolt could rotate. So by putting two in, the likelihood of this twisting now is minimized, because now it's not just twisting the one bolt, you're now twisting the both, which is twisting the plate and bending the bar. So it makes for a stronger joint in that particular. Now if I lifted sort of some billet aluminum up here and then put a bolt through in that direction, then that would have been good enough for one bolt, because now you're putting the bolt through, it's trying to twist that way, but I didn't want to go. Didn't have much material left on my billet, so, and this is the way that I decided before that anyway. So so we got two bolts, but now that takes out any twisting plane that can be on that single bolt. So we have two either side. There's some material I can cut off this yet. Now if you can imagine the bars coming down here, all this stuff that sticks above that line, sticks above, say about there, isn't really needed. So what I'll do is I'll continue the outside edge of this, and I'll cut probably a 22 degree cut across the top there, and just pull these back a little bit, just make, instead of they're just straight up, just remove some material that isn't needed. But yes, it's nice to see it all together. Stand up over here. Yes, it's in. So it's rear suspension next. Be good. there we go. One more thing off the list to do. I did actually bring these bars at the top here, brought them inboard a little bit more than they were before. Steps back for a sec. Here we come. Originally they were about here. Now, only because I could, I took off the original brackets, which was designed for 8mm bolts, which, you know, very race car, but not. I want something a little bit stronger for the street, so 1/2-inch bolts, and I moved them in a couple of inches. Ideally, it'd be nice to get them right in the centre, and then you could build like a structural Y piece to here, so to add structure into that, and then it's closer to a V. But it'd be nice to actually have a rear view mirror and possibly fit a Perspex cover in the rear part of the clip. So we're leaving that option open at the moment. It's either that was going to be a rear view camera, one of the two. So we can actually see between there. The original NACA duct, which sits on top, you can just about see it in the roof section there, obviously would have come underneath that roll cage point there and would have fed into a big fan. Now, we don't have an air-cooled engine, we have a water-cooled engine, so we'll have radiators either side in the door pods. We don't necessarily need a cold air inductor for the roof. To keep this area, if you can see at the moment, it's quite uncluttered. So the rear vision is going to be, I don't know, not bad in comparison to lots of cars. Obviously our induction is here. So instead of taking the air that would have come in through here, putting it through a filter and kind of blocking all that area off, what we can do is maybe put a twin pipe, one pipe coming off to this corner, one pipe coming round to here, and having two filters, one filter either side, and then maybe putting a small bubble in the bodywork just past the door section, and we can actually drag some air from either side. Or we could even sink a couple of NACA ducts in there as well, like the one that was on the roof. We could sink one either side of the bodywork just to pull air into the just some clean air, and we'll just have two cone filters either side. Keep it simple. Actually, mass airflow. Yes, we're going to have the mass airflow sensors there, so it'll be an interesting shape. Might need to kick up the throttle body by an angle, so I might need to put a wedge plate underneath the throttle body, bring it forward, and just kick it up slightly just to get it in the way. But yes, well, ideas are still in flux. But yeah, there we go. That's rear structure. Right, I'm boring people. Right, I'm off. I'll speak to you later. Hopefully we've got probably one corner of suspension fitted. Speak to you soon.